Has the lead over Jorge, 9-3 to 9-1-5 against Jorge Garcia. Right now, Asano has the lead by 0.15 after one rotation, but it's who's in front after 6 rotations that matters. Right now, let's introduce you to the women. It'll be Margaret Ulett against Ulrich. They are going to vault first. Again, they are following the Olympic order of competition, vaulting being the first event. Women vault twice. It is the better of the 2 vaults that will count. Margaret Ulett is 14 years old. Al Fong is her coach.
She trains at the Great American Gymnastics Express, and she says that vault is her favorite event, so a good way to start. Nice job. That's the same vault we saw Brandy Johnson do. She was a little looser in the air, but it was very well done. This is the Yurchenko full. Bent her arms on the rebound of the horse, which caused her to over-rotate a little bit. She'll need to block a little bit better on the horse. You can see here as she goes back into the horse, she reaches back and her arms are bent right there. If she could get a little straighter arms, she could get a little stronger push, and she might hang that up in the air a little longer and be able to stick the landing.
Her score for that first vault was 9.65.
She has to be pleased with that because this is only the 3rd or 4th time she used this vault in competition. It's still one of the toughest vaults being done in the world right now. Let's see if she can get a little better block. That was the one. How about that?
Oh,
you can tell right from the pre-flight that she got a good solid block off the horse, and she hung it up in the air and good landing. Watch the difference on this one now as compared to the first. When she reaches back right there, see, she gets a good solid push, stays really upright in the air, good clean form. Well done.
Fine job by the 14-year-old high schooler, or 8th grader, I should say, from East Summit, Missouri.
Once again, good block, boom. Nice clean form in the air. Those are fun to do.
Needless to say, it was the second vault that scored better than the first. Again, her first vault received a 9.65. There you see the numbers for her second vault, 9.8. Again, that is the number that this lady will have to beat, Ulrich. She is also going to compete on vault. We had a chance to speak with her earlier. She, too, has never been involved in a single elimination type of format and spoke with us about that.
Well, that's a really different form. I've never competed like this, and I really don't think anyone else has either. And it's going to be exciting. It's going to be a lot of pressure because you know you have to do good to, to move on. And, every event it's going to be, like a fight to see who's going to do better. So that's what makes it fun.
Carol is the first gymnast in Colorado history to score a perfect 10 in high school competition. She is obviously a hometown favorite because she hails from Broomfield.
Now, the vault that she has signified to the judges that she's going to use is a Sukahara tucked with a full twist. There it is. Oh, that was high. Now, it's different than the Yurchenko style of vault that we've seen from some of the other competitors. This one, she goes straight on to the horse. From the forward position, she does a round off there, tucked back with a full, and great form in the air. This vault used to be worth a perfect 10. Now it's a maximum of a 9.9, but she does it nicely. Good, clean, legs together in the air, and that is tough on a full twisting Sukahara to hold good form while you're flipping and twisting at the same time.
That, to me, should be a 10 vault, but I'm not in with the people who make those decisions. That to me looks like a very difficult vault. 9.625 is the score she received for that first routine.
So many of the girls are using the Yurchenko style of vaulting, the round-off approach. This is the traditional style of vaulting, and she's so powerful, she can really pull this off. Once again, the same vault. Oh, just a little short on the landing. She was really trying to hang it up in the air and stick that landing, and she just underdid it a little bit.
Coach Bill Ryden.
Once again, good block, nice form in the air. She's looking for the landing right there, and she opens up just a hair early and causes her to take a step forward. She really wanted to stick that.
Where should the hand placement be on the horse?
They do a half turn on. You can see right there her hand should be as square as possible. She's just a little short. She's fighting that landing but it wasn't there today, and she knew it.
Should it be more on the top side, on the board side, or
you need to hit on the front side of the horse so you can get a good solid block right there, so your hands are just barely up to the top of the horse. She's a little lower on that one than she was on the first one, and that caused a step forward.
The judge is taking a little bit of time on this second score. The first one, again, she got a 9.625. This one was scored a little bit less at 9.575. Therefore, it is the first vault that will count. Again, Margaret Ulett, 9.8. Carol Ulrich, 9.625. She's in a little bit of a deficit going into the second rotation. And now you are looking at Jorge Garcia. He is getting ready to compete on the Pommel horse. Again, he is up against Kyle Asano.
This young man is really committed to the sport of gymnastics. He says for his hobbies, he likes to watch gymnastics videos. We saw him do great flares on the floor. You can see he can also do very good flares on the horse as well. Did flares up to a handstand. He's working without the pommels. Whoa!
Form breaks haven't.
Oh, he was doing a really difficult combination of skills there without the pommels, which is so much more difficult to work on the body of the horse because of the elevation of the pommels are a little bit easier. When you put your hands down on the leather, it's very difficult, and he got into some trouble. Now, of course, the judges will take off a half a point for falling off the exercise, and then he is obligated to pick up where he left off and continue the exercise. Does flares to a handstand on the end. He breaks into this scissors, one of the requirements. Flares again to a handstand and a helicopter pirouette off. That's a nice dismount.
That's very pretty. Too bad he had that major break in the middle.
Watch what happens here. See, he's working without the pommels. And those pommels are about 4.5 inches up, so you have to have really good elevation above the horse. And once you start to lose it in the shoulders and you get low to the horse, you're in trouble. This was a good part of the exercise, though. He does flares right to a handstand as he pirouettes all the way down to the end and continues to pirouette off. That's a beautiful dismount.
Jorge Garcia. Already he was down 0.15 to Kyle Asano. The score for this apparatus, 8.35. Tough break for Jorge Garcia. That does take the pressure off of Kyle Asano. These are two very young gymnasts. Jorge Garcia just 18, Kyle Asano just 17. And this is really great in their development that they're getting this opportunity not only to compete, but to be on television and to experience all of these things.
And they're competing with the pressure of the big guys. Although Lance Ringgold is only 18 years old, he's still one of the top guys in the U.S. All right, away again. Trouble on the horse.
Well, that means this meet isn't over yet. The score was 8.35 for Jorge Garcia. So Kyle Asano has now opened the door.
Kyle opened with some flares on the end, and he was traveling up. Looked like he was low in elevation, but we'll have to... Oh, he's going to start right over. Because he made a mistake on the opening skill, he can pick up right at the beginning of the exercise as he chose to do. Little form breaks. His pommel rushing down. He's really having to fight. Oh. Now, that's the kind of mistake that young gymnasts tend to make. He lost concentration because he made a mistake earlier, and he gave up some valuable points on a very easy skill. This is a good format for these guys, though, because it's good pressure, it's a good test, it doesn't affect their national ranking at this stage, and they're all in the developmental stages of the U.S. national team. So he'll learn a great deal from having participated here. Here's the mount. He does the flares. You can see he's working his way in towards the pommels, and he clips his knee on the end of the horse. And once you lose your momentum on the flares, there's not a lot you can do. Right here he does a handstand and a good clean dismount. Good finish, but of course the trouble early in the exercise is going to really hurt his score.
The tough part is with both gymnasts having major falls like that, you really have to stay on top of the deductions. 7.9 the score. Jorge Garcia now leads Kyle Asano.